Hey, Heidi Easley here, Texas Art and Salt, and I have my friend Deb here, and I'm so excited, Debra from Dips by Deb. So welcome. We are actually going to be doing a painting and talking all paint party business conversation because a lot of y'all are out there starting paint party businesses just like Debra, and we're going to share a little bit about what we're doing. So real quick as you come on, go ahead and say hello. At the end of this live, I have a couple of fun gift cards I'm going to be giving away. So make sure you stay until the end, and then we'll give a couple of those away. And Debra, go ahead and say hello and welcome yourself while we get started here.
Hey, guys. How are you? Happy Tuesday. I'm here with Miss Heidi. I can't believe it. I'm so blessed.
Well, I'm so happy you're here. And how don't y'all love her hair? I love your hair so much.
It's purple.
Pixie's wanting to do hers pink this summer, and I'm like, okay, as long as we can, cut it before school, because she has to have certain colors, like she can't have the fun. And remember when she did turquoise? I don't know if you saw the turquoise phase. It was so pretty.
It really brought out her eyes.
Oh, I loved her. I was like, not a lot of people can pull off turquoise, and not a lot of people can pull off purple, but you can do it.
It's my husband's favorite color.
It's so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, everybody's jumping on saying hello. So what we're doing today, we are actually going to be talking about paint party business while we are painting our flamingo sign. So what we're going to do is, Debra, if this is okay with you, let's go ahead and both start painting. And then what I want to do is just start talking about paint parties. How many paint parties have you taught, and when did you start teaching them?
I started teaching in 2017. I did my first paint party. Of course, I did it by the seat of my pants because I didn't have you yet. So therefore, I didn't book many of them.
So what do you mean by the seat of your pants? You were just like trying to go for it?
Yeah, my boss came up to me when I was at the brewery I worked with. She knew I painted a little bit, and then she asked me if I wanted to do a paint party on a slow night, and I was like, sure, why not? I got 15 people, and it was a little chaotic because I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but they all enjoyed it. They all had a great time. And then in September of 2019, I found you.
So your first paint party was just like somebody asked you, hey, would you want to do this on a slow night, and you went for it?
Absolutely.
Were you terrified? Because we have so many people jumping on, and as you jump on, go ahead and text me. Text me if you want the stencil to this flamingo. So if you want the flamingo, text the stencil, and we're gonna put the link in the comments so you can text it. But for those of y'all that have ever been scared about teaching a paint party, Debra got asked and then did it. So can you talk a little bit about, like, were you scared, and how did you overcome that to go ahead and start teaching a paint party?
Yes, I was actually terrified. I think I showed up about 4 hours early.
Oh, wow.
I was walking around and doing absolutely crazy stuff.
Like what? What do you mean?
Just, walking around, trying to calm myself down, going to the back of the brewery, looking at things. And then everybody started showing up. And I was like, okay, I either have to go for this or not.
So what happened once everybody got there? Did you start to calm down whenever you kind of changed your focus to them?
Yes, I did. I did turn around and realize that this wasn't about me.
Oh, I love that.
It was a gentleman's birthday. He was a lineman. And he decided to paint something completely different.
What did he paint? Like, what were you teaching, and what did he paint?
I was teaching a sunflower with a bee on it.
Oh, here, move your painting down just a smidge so we can see you. Perfect. There we go. So you were painting a what?
I was painting a sunflower with a bumblebee on it.
And what did he paint?
He painted a telephone pole with telephone lines on it.
Awesome.
And a ladder.
And it was his birthday, right?
And it was his birthday. And it completely took everything off of me because he was painting whatever he wanted.
I love that.
And I always say that in my paint parties. You know, this is what I'm teaching, but if you don't want to paint this, you can paint whatever you would like.
Oh my gosh, I say the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to be teaching the Eiffel Tower today, but you can paint whatever you want. So that is awesome. And, you know, real quick, y'all, I want to just bring your attention to what Debra said. You know, she was so nervous her first time. Let us know in the comments if you were really nervous the first time you taught a paint party. And then once you take that energy and that attention off of you and how you might mess up or how you might be nervous I always say, like, I'm a praying girl. So I always say, like, go say a prayer, or while you're setting out their brushes, like, you know, say a quick prayer for the person coming to paint. You know, you never know what they're going through. And then they come to this paint party. And when you make it about them, it totally takes off that pressure. So, okay, so you come 4 hours early for your first paint party. You're getting all nervous and all worked up, and then you realize that, okay, it's really about them and this guy's birthday and how you can help him. What did you decide? Like, what happened at the end of this? Like, how did it go? Did it go well? Like, tell us how it went.
It went great. We all sang him happy birthday.
Aww.
And everybody at the end of it just lingered, which was wonderful.
So they all wanted to kind of just stay around and talk?
Yep, they all stayed around and talked and asked me questions and asked my opinion about things on their painting. And,
aww,
you know, I kept giving them encouragement of, look, you know, if this is your first painting, you know, keep it. And then when you do the next one, keep that one so you can see where you've come from and you've done stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It is so important. I know. And Debbie says she always prays before her paint parties too. I love that. You know, here's what's so funny. Like, because I started out with the surfboard business, Deborah, a lot of the people, especially my family and friends that have the surfboards, have kept them. And they've recently, because I've been painting all these surfboards lately, they've recently been sending me pictures of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a better painter than I was back then. And I think that, you know, because we don't have something to compare it to, we can't tell. So I think it's really, really important that you make sure, like, you keep up with, like, what you've done so you know how well you're doing then. So that's awesome. Okay, great. So tell us, now that you've taught, how many paint parties?
Probably about 25.
Yay. Oh, so do you love it? Tell me that. Like, do you really like doing it?
I do love it. I love painting. I took my first painting lesson in 2003.
Oh, wow.
So, and of course, you know, life gets in the way. Moved to North Carolina and took a job with my husband. And I didn't paint for 7 years.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to share a little bit about, like, why you didn't paint, or was it just a break?
Well, everybody's got a story. And, you know, my story, I guess, is no different than anybody else's. I do like to share it because it is a surviving story. In 1994, I was kidnapped and beat up.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So my whole world changed within a 4-hour briefing there. But the good Lord knew exactly what I needed. And I met my wonderful husband during this time. and our world, his world was going to change because my world was dramatically changed. Um, and so he was working at the farm I was working at, and then we started traveling with horses and working. So I felt very safe. We got married in February of 1997, so it's 24 years. We've always worked together since we've been together.
Oh my gosh. You're
Um,
gonna have to zoom in on your face. I gotta connect with you for a second. This is so serious. I'm like, I can't paint right now. So that's insane. So that happened in 2007.
no, it happened in 1994 on my 28th birthday.
Oh my gosh. I am so
So
sorry.
it's,
I
you
can't,
know, I'm a survivor.
man.
So I did what I was supposed to do, which was great.
Which is what? Can you tell us I mean, I'm like a mom of my daughter, and she's saying she's gonna just leave, and when she graduates, and I'm like, oh, so terrified.
I had a lot of family around. It took about a 10-year process. But I did all the legal stuff that I was supposed to do. And the courts were on my side, thank goodness. And justice prevailed. But my life had completely changed from that day to about 2010.
Oh my gosh.
So I was, it was in the beginning, we did everything we were supposed to. And, I think back then, MySpace was out. And then that went away and Facebook came along. And I was so excited in 2010 that I was able to get a Facebook page.
Wow.
Because, I stopped worrying about the past and worried more about fixing me. Mm-hmm. And when I did my Facebook page, I got into a whole lot of stuff. I mean, self-development and books and working on what I needed to work on and not worry about the past. I mean, the wind of disaster hits all of us, whether it's a loss, opportunity, whatever. And Jim Rowan, who I found in 2010, really helped me realize that it's not the way the wind blows, but it's the set of your sail for opportunity and your direction in which you want to go in life. So that's what I started to do.
Wow. And then just completely kind of changed your perspective on life and started teaching paint parties and started thinking of like different ways to like, I guess, put that energy, which is so, man, like you said, everybody has a story, and some stories are obviously, can be more traumatic than other people's stories. And so I can't even imagine what you've gone through, but I just want to say, I am so happy you're here. And I'm so happy that today we get to paint hibiscus and flamingos and not worry about that. So
wow. Absolutely.
Oh that's crazy. Well, thank you for sharing that. Oh man. So y'all, and you said Jim Rohn, he had a quote that you liked. Is that right? The one that you talked about, the wind blows, the same wind blows on all of us. Do you want to read that?
Yeah, it says the same wind blows on all of us. The wind of disaster, hurt, loss, opportunity, and change. So therefore, it's not the blowing of the wind, but the set of the sails that determine your direction in life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Isn't it true, like in life in general and in running a business, like you have to be willing to like learn and grow as a human is probably more important than the business aspect of it. I know I've found that.
Yes. And my family is amazing. My brother-in-law has worked for Tony Robbins since I can remember.
Oh, real? Oh, I'm obsessed with Tony Robbins.
He used to be his fire chief captain for all his firewalks.
Oh, no way. Does he
Yeah.
still work with him?
He doesn't. He actually has his own business now where he does them.
That is so cool.
And he does firewalks and board breaks, motivational speaker, glass walks, and stuff like that.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, I think it's really important. I know, you know, I didn't discover any of like the self-development type stuff until like my mid-30s. And I started, you know, having Pixie like do podcasts or read books or stuff like that, just because the power of that knowledge is so incredible, you know, and then you couple that with action and you can seriously change your life situations.
Absolutely can.
So tell us a little bit about, so your favorite thing about paint parties. What do you, I mean, because I know, like, I feel like I'm always in my happy place. Like, I have a paint party Thursday and I'm already excited because I get to see people that have been my customers. And I feel like I'm just, you know, getting to go get paid to go hang out and paint and do what I love. But what is like one of your favorite things about doing your paint parties?
The people that come. You never know who you're going to meet and what kind of impact they're going to have on your life. I was doing a paint party, and I only had a few people sign up, and it was about an hour away. And I was thinking about canceling it, and the young lady texted me privately and had told me about a situation, and because she was able to share that story with me, I said I will be there if there's only 2 of you. And because of that, I've gotten 3 or 4 more paint parties.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you said that because so many people discount small paint parties. And y'all let me know in the comments if you have ever had a small paint party and you have gotten another paint party or another connection or a referral to a paint party because of a small paint party. I know myself, I have had some really big opportunities come from some of my smallest paint parties. So you had another opportunity, Deborah, because of that?
Absolutely. I've had like 3 or 4 just from that one paint party. Private parties in people's homes that I've done.
Wow. That's so cool. I think that's whenever like we have to have almost like that optimism of, you know, seeing that there's opportunities in so many things, like so many possibilities, and there's opportunities in so many things where most people would have, you know, like a negative, or they would just cancel, or they wouldn't even think about it, where you were like, nope, I need to be there. And you were there. And because of it, it's like now you had all these other successful events because of it. I think that's so, so cool.
It's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big numbers game. I mean, if you always tell us to talk to, send out 5 invites to restaurants and stuff, Miss Heidi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you talk to 5 and you don't get one, but if you talk to 5 more tomorrow, you might get one. And if you talk to 5 more the next day or the following week, you might get one. And if you talk to 5 more, you might get 2. And it's because it's a whole numbers game for everybody.
Right. Yeah. It really is. Oh, hey, G, she made it. Yeah, it is live. Yeah, it's, oh, and Rebecca says, I'm so happy you came out of that tragedy. I can agree with everyone on here, I'm sure. I can't wait to go back and read all the comments. But yeah, it totally is, Deborah, you're right. And I think too, one of the biggest things that we have to get comfortable with is being okay to fail. And knowing that failure is temporary, and instead of thinking of it so much like a failure, think of it more like that's the next step. Like I'm always like, okay, If it's going to take me, 10 no's to get one yes, then I'm going to get to the 10 no's as fast as possible so I can get to the one yes. And so the other day I made a post and I talked about how Sarah Blakely, the owner of Spanx, which should I buy? I've never bought them before. I just don't know if I want stuff tied on my body. But anyway, love the woman. She's doing some awesome things, but I've just never purchased her products, but maybe one day. But she's a billionaire, and she talked about how at her home, her dad every night at the table would say, what did you fail at today? And it was encouraged to fail because if you were failing, you were trying. So
Yes.
what would you say about that?
Well, opportunity mixed with difficulty. Things will always come out the way they're supposed to. You always, if you have opportunity with difficulty and you get through that difficulty, you've learned how to do that. So like when I did my first paint party and I was so nervous and everything turned over, this guy's birthday and everything else, I realized that the opportunity was there and I was making it more difficult than I realized.
Oh, that's a good point. That sometimes we make it harder for ourselves than what it really is.
Correct.
Oh, that's such a good point. I'm sure y'all can relate. Anybody can relate in here. I've definitely made things way harder than they needed to be sometimes. Oh, Rebecca, you're funny. So let's see some of the comments. Knowledge is power. Rebecca says, it's what I tell my children often. Angela says, I love this painting. Can't wait to have time to try it. Y'all, I am obsessed with this flamingo painting. And if you want the tracer, go ahead and text me here. I'm going to leave this here so you can screenshot it for about 5 seconds. So go ahead and screenshot it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you can text me, just text the word flamingo and we will get you the tracer. Okay, so go ahead and text the word flamingo and we'll get you the tracer. Okay, so let's see how yours is coming along. Let's see. You got your palm leaf. I keep saying the palm leaves wrong. Am I saying palm fronds? Is that right?
Palm fronds.
I don't know.
I'm about to put the berry metallic.
Ooh, I love that one.
On my hibiscus, just to outline them.
Oh, that's going to look good. Today is the first day since I've been painting these flamingos that I've used Kelly green instead of festive green. And I think I love my Kelly green on this style better. So I'm using Kelly green, and then also I'm using a happy green from Folk Art, and then white paint and royal fuchsia. So what colors do you have over there, Deborah?
I am using a bright pink from Folk Art. I'm using a citrus green for the leaves. And then I did go with
citrus. Let me see that citrus. Oh, I love that. Put it just a little bit higher so the camera, so they can see to the other way down. Oh. We're going to get it. Go that way. Do you have a tattoo on your arm too? Well, I don't have a tattoo. I just write on my arm. What is on yours?
It's a tribute to my mother-in-law. It says, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
Oh, wow. That's meaningful.
Yes.
Very cool. I know. I keep thinking maybe, Deborah, I'll for real get a tattoo there, but then I keep getting scared.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 of them in one weekend.
Did you really? Oh my gosh. Bobby's trying to do like a whole outer space rocket type sleeve because he loves tattoos and he has some tattoos. And so he's trying to add to his collection. And I'm just scared. So I just keep writing with Sharpie because I'm so scared.
Have you seen those new ones that are temporary?
Are they like the kind that you just put on, but they stay a little bit longer?
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw one that reminded me of you when you did your birds.
Oh, really? What did it say?
It had the beautiful black, just a black outlines of the birds that you used to have on your hands.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I still have those little stamps that I put the birds sometimes on my hands and then just wash it off at night. Okay, so everybody that's jumping in here, I just want to say thank y'all so much for joining us here in about, I'd say probably maybe 10 minutes. We're gonna give a couple of these puppies away. So thank y'all so much for hanging on and learning from us. We want to just really have a conversation about, you know, paint parties and how you can make some extra money and through doing paint parties. And so I wanted to share Debra with you because she's done several paint parties and has made extra money doing that. And we just wanted to share a little bit about her story. So if you're just jumping on, we have been chatting for the past 25 minutes about her story and some things that she has really overcome. So if you missed part of it, you can always go back and watch the replay. But I'm just so excited to have y'all here painting with us. And Debra, it's just such an honor to like paint with you and just chit chat. So what would you share if somebody's wanting to teach paint parties, but they're scared because we all know we have the fear part come up? What would you tell them?
I would just say go for it. If there's a passion that you have about anything, I was always taught to study, practice, and teach. No matter what it is, study, practice, and teach. And I've learned so much from you, Heidi, about paint parties and the way you market things for us and how we can just go in there and grab them. And it's funny because I'm the type of person that if somebody's already done it, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to follow somebody who's having success and follow their way of doing it. So I know that my success has a lot to do with me watching you on live, catching you on this live or that live about, and sometimes it's about paintings and sometimes it's just about life. And it's so wonderful to be able to do that.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, and I totally agree. It goes back to what you were saying earlier about, you know, instead of reinventing the wheel, find somebody who's doing something you want to do. I know Tony Robbins talks about that a lot. Like, you know, find somebody doing what you want to do and then find out how they're doing it. So it shaves off so much time and so much confusion and things like that. And so, yeah, I think it's just so important that we find what we're passionate about and then we go for it. And I know, like, you know, I've had times in my life where I let fear just get the best of me and would almost be paralyzed in fear. And now I think as I've, you know, grown and learned, it's almost like if I'm scared of it, I know I need to do it. Do you have that feeling sometimes?
Yeah, but you know, my fear is, what if something happens? Not that I don't know how to put this. Not that I would fear that I would make somebody upset or do something like that during a paint party. My fear is that I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Or I go into why me?
Mm-hmm.
And I've just really learned to not do that anymore.
Yeah, there's so many people that get stuck in that, and I used to get stuck in that too. But like, what does that accomplish?
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And energy and self-worth, and you know what I mean? It's just, I've come to learn that I live in the moment because 10 minutes ago is already gone. So these moments mean so much to me in that aspect.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure what you've gone through too is giving you a new perspective on how to live more in that moment too.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's big. I think if I could like have one wish for people, I think my wish would be just to like take away the fear, like take away that fear, because once you start living from a place of not being terrified, of not being good enough, of not being worthy, of all of that stuff, it seriously like it just frees you, doesn't it? It gives you this like newfound freedom of it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to try. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to live your life, follow what you feel like God has given you as your passion. And I don't know, it's really just changed a lot for me.
Yeah, it really has changed a lot for me too on how I think of things, how I look at things. I don't jump into a lot of things very quickly because I always think, okay, what is this going to do for them instead of me?
Right.
I'm here to help them. And Jim Rohn always says, if you live well, you will earn well.
Oh, love that. I love that. I was just reading a book recently and it talked about that similar type of thing. Like if you're giving a lot to others, if you're helping other people prosper, then why would you not prosper?
Absolutely, when you take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so hard for me because I lived in that world for so long of, me. I had to think about, and I have a twin sister.
Oh, do you?
Yep. So my mom had 7 children before she was 30.
Oh, wow. She's a beast.
And I was her 7th.
Oh my gosh, you're the baby. Well, the twins.
I was a baby. They said that it was one big boy. So I always had that twin sister around, always with me to, be there and everything else. So during my life-changing thing, I was always more worried about her as well.
Okay.
Because she was my twin sister.
Aww. Was she a part? Was she a part of the tragedy?
Yes, because actually her husband was the first person I called.
Oh, okay.
instead of the police, because I was just, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that's crazy. I remember years ago when I was working at a convenience store when I was in high school. Somebody tried to grab me, and I know this is a crazy story too. And it was like, I remember I called my dad. I called my dad first because I knew he would get there faster and he would take care of who it was faster than the authorities were, because I was like, my dad is going to protect me, so I called straight to him for that. And thankfully, I was okay. And my uncle was actually at the store when it was happening. And I told him, I said, do not leave. Whatever you do, do not leave the store. And it ended up turning out okay. But it was, I couldn't imagine going through what you've gone through.
It makes us stronger.
Oh man.
And I met my husband. He asked me out for 2 years before I said yes.
Oh wow, he was persistent.
He was persistent.
I love that. Well, I'm so happy that you're happy and you're doing what you love. I want you to just maybe, we've talked about it a lot today, and I know we're kind of starting to get wrapped up here, I want you to share a little bit about, like, you know, we've talked about the fear of it. We've talked about kind of overcoming it. But really, you know, we always say, like, okay, what should people do if they're going to do this? And we always say, like, well, just do it. But, like, what's a real actionable thing that people could do if they really want to teach a paint party? You know, what's, like, the first thing that they could do?
Write things down, make a list of what you're looking to want to do. Find somebody who will allow you to do it, whether it be at a vineyard, a restaurant. Come up with a game plan, and find somebody who has done it before and watch how they do it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's funny, we try to change things to us instead of realizing that there's somebody else out there that's already done it. You know, my mom saw a friend at the age of 47. Art's always kind of been in her grandmother used to paint and do this. And my mom met a friend carving a duck at the age of 47. And she looked at him and said, "Do you think I could do that?" And he said, "Absolutely. I can teach you how to do this."
So cool.
And she said, "But I want to do songbirds." And within five years, she was a world champion.
What?
Yeah.
Of carving?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll show you one of her pieces.
That is so cool.
So can we see it?
Oh my gosh, that is freaking beautiful. Wow. She carved that out of what?
Out of a block of wood.
Dang. That is impressive. So is she still doing that?
She is not. Unfortunately, my father did the basis, and my father ended up getting very sick with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's.
Aww.
And we lost him, so it was kind of a team thing that they did. They did it together.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
But the kids got the benefit because we all got some.
Oh, well, maybe one day she'll be able to pick it up again.
And I never thought, you know, living with my mom, to even think about asking to teach me how to do it, or to sit there and watch her. And it, you know, I think back about it now, and I think, you know, she had the courage at 47 to do that. So if you get the courage to do something that you absolutely love, take a deep breath and just do it.
Yes, I love that, because I mean, you never know when that time or that opportunity is going to pass by. And I think it's so important that when we're inspired, we take action, because that's when you're going to have the most energy around it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, a friend of mine, actually, it's my sister-in-law, her mom, she decided in her late 40s that she wanted to learn how to sculpt. So she went to this like 2-week or a month-long sculpting workshop, and then learned how. I'd never sculpted before in her life, learned how, and then now she sculpts like clay horses, and they've turned them into bronze trophies for like the Kentucky Derby and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, how gorgeous.
I know, it's so freaking cool. And I'm like, you are so talented. And she stopped through here one time and she helped Pixie sculpt a unicorn. So I still have this clay unicorn in my kitchen that she helped Pixie sculpt. And I'm like, I will keep this forever. I love it so, so much. Oh, so Desiree wants to know what your arm tattoo says, if you want to pull your camera up so we can see your pretty face, and you can show there you are, and we can show your tattoo again. We have some people asking what it says.
Let me see where I can go with it. It says, life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
I love that. That is so cool to have. Well, here's my Sharpie one. My Sharpie one just says, you are loved. I'm still too scared, Debra. Maybe one day I will get a real tattoo there, but I'm a little too scared. Okay, Elizabeth says, I've texted for tracer, but it keeps asking for more information. So here's how you get the tracer. If you want the tracer for the flamingo, just text the word flamingo, and then I will be responding back probably later tonight with the link so that you can click the link. You have to put in your name and email to get the actual email of the tracer. Okay, this is just an easy way to get it to y'all faster. So yes, once you text flamingo, we will send you a link for you to put in your name and your email, and then it gives you all the stuff that you need. Plus it gives you replays of me painting this. So if you want to watch it a little bit more and fast forward it, you can. Cindy says, don't be scared to get that tat. They are fun to have. I know, like, I feel like I'm going to end up, don't you see it, Debra? I'm going to end up with like a full-on sleeve if I start. I'll be addicted to it.
I have my German Shepherd on one leg, my sugar glider on the next leg.
Sugar glider, that's what Pixie wants. She keeps talking about sugar. Do you have a real sugar glider?
I did for 13 years. I lost her last year.
Oh, they live that long?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she wants one. Was it a really good pet?
Yeah, I actually took her to schools for the kids to learn about her. And she had a leash and she hung out on my shoulder all the time.
No way.
I took her into grocery stores.
Oh, what was her name?
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah?
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Because I got her at the Shenandoah County Fair.
Oh, that is awesome. So Penny wants to know, who is the quote from? Do you know?
Goodness, no, but I can find out who it's from and then I can put it in the comments.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, and for those of y'all that are just jumping on, we're about to announce the winner of some Michael's gift cards. I'm kind of just finishing up the welcome. Me and Debra have been just talking all things paint party business and kind of sharing her story of how she's overcome, as well as, you know, what she's doing in the paint party business world, and just sharing kind of how to get over fear, all of those things that kind of hold us back. So really, we're just kind of having a fun afternoon painting, and I'm repainting this because I painted the flamingo one and then it sold. And so I have a paint party tomorrow night and I have to have an example. So I was like, oh, this will be perfect if we both paint our flamingo signs. I can paint with y'all and also share a little bit about Debra's story. So Debra, we have talked a lot. If you want to put your camera down to show your painting, and then is there any, while we're finishing up here, is there any kind of pieces of advice you want to give, or not to put you on the spot or anything?
Guys, I would draw from each other. Everybody is here for everybody in Paint Party headquarters or Texas Art and Soul. And I always draw from others, and I always ask for God's help.
Oh, yes. That was so, so big.
Always ask for God's help.
Yeah, I love that, Debra. I'm always like so big about anytime I get stuck, like if I look at my calendar and I don't have a paint party scheduled, and I'm like, oh crap, I start to, I need to get a paint party schedule, because, you can start to freak out, especially if that's the way you're making your extra money. And so I always kind of I take a step back and I kind of breathe, and then I go, and I like pray for God to show me opportunities. And I take a moment and I step back and I stop comparing myself to everyone. And then I start taking action. And just like Debra was talking about earlier, reach out to places, start, trying to book. And it is a numbers game. And the fact that, if you reach out to 10 people, you're probably going to have an opportunity. And so yeah, I think it's so important that we remember, we can't put our identity in paint parties. As much as I love paint parties, I have to put my identity in Christ where it belongs, not in my job, not in what I do. And so I think we have to be really, really careful, because if you put your identity in a paint party, what's going to happen when you have really great success at a paint party, and then all of a sudden, 3 weeks down the road, you have a paint party that cancels? What's that going to do? That's going to destroy you. And so if you always put your identity in your paint party business, you are really, really, really going to have so much doubt and fear with that. So make sure that you're not putting your identity into what you do.
Absolutely. That is so good, Heidi. You got to know who you are first before almost anything. If you put it into something else, and like you said, if that fails, you're like, okay, now what do I do? Where do I go?
Yeah. It can knock the wind out of your sails real fast, when you're putting your identity into your work. How many times do we see people who have a bunch of kids and they put their identity only into being a mom? And I'm not saying only in that way, please hear me. But I'm saying a lot of times, as moms, we put all of our focus only on our children. And then all of a sudden we're empty nesters, and we didn't put any of our focus on our husband or building that relationship. And the next thing you know, we're like, wait a minute, we have nothing else in common except for our kids. There's things where, anything, if we put our identity into our kids, if we put our identity into our fitness, all of those things, we have to remember, yes, we're artists, we're creatives, and that's a part of our identity, but it can't be what we're putting everything towards. Okay, so how are you coming over there? I want to see your painting.
You're way faster than me today, Miss Heidi.
Oh, I'm used to painting super fast. All those surfboards, I got to paint fast.
You are. You're super fast.
Well, I want to see how yours is going, and then we'll do some winners. We'll announce some winners before we end here and share where they can find you. So if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
I'm at Dips by Deb on Facebook, and then I'm also on Dips by Deb on Instagram.
All right, so DIP, Dips by Deb.
DIPS by Deb.
Awesome. So if y'all want to find out more about her, go ahead and check her out there. I'm sure she would greatly appreciate it. And just a heads up, y'all, I did not let mine dry all the way, so I'm going to have to do a little cleanup. But usually I would blow dry this, but I know we were talking and chatting, so I didn't want to start the blow dryer while we were chatting it up. That would not be nice. So I have a little bit of a mess to clean up. Okay, so go ahead and follow her on Dips by Deb. And then I just want to say a huge thank you for being here. And any of y'all that are wanting to get the Flamingo Tracer, go ahead and screenshot this. If you can get the Flamingo Tracer, text Flamingo to this number, and we'll give you the Flamingo Tracer once you text it. And probably tonight we will give you a link for it. And then, Debra, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, Miss Heidi. I'm completely humbled and blessed that you asked me.
It's just been so fun, hearing your story, and not just your story, but how you started going into self-development and just changing the whole outcome of your life. I think that's so powerful.
Yes. I worked on me.
Yeah. It's so powerful. So I think all of us, like I've always said this, when you're running a business or starting a business, like you're going to do more on yourself and who you're becoming than you ever will on your business. And it's just part of it. So everybody's yelling, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story, Deb. They're all very excited to share it. So we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Everybody have a blessed Tuesday and a blessed rest of your week.
Y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.